परिवर्तितम्.
Hi friends, this is NJ, your host on this channel. So we will do one more composite analysis today, where I will show you guys the harmony, the sync between different mystic sciences. Like the way I always say, if an astrologer has spotted the strengthened position of a planet in someone's astrological chart, be it the Sun, Mars, Mercury, they are exalted, conjunct good planets in the good houses, good nakshatras. So how can we see the same strengthened position of those planets in someone's palm as well? If your astrological chart is indicating a nature which is filled with the passion, so how can we see the same passionate nature in someone's palm as well? Same is the case with the predictions made, the big time predictions that you're going to get your job at this age, you're going to become an IAS officer at this age. So how can we see and spot the same signs in someone's palm as well? Right now my objective is not to do the predictions. Right now the objective is just to show you guys the common link, the common connecting loop between all these sciences. So the case study which I am going to discuss with you guys today is of a 60-year-old retired engineer, and I am going to show you guys the link, the harmony between the different tools of his life in the form of his astrological chart, the numerological data and his palm images. So as you can see in your screen, that we will first begin with the numerological data analysis. That when it comes to the life path number, like the way I always say that life path number is fixed, this number cannot be changed because it gets calculated from your date of birth, month of birth and the year of birth, the total of your birth details, and this number tells about the reason of your birth, what you intend to do in this lifetime, reason of your birth, what all lessons you need to learn in this lifetime. So the person has got his life path number as the 5. Due to privacy related issues, I am not revealing the birth details or the name of the person. Otherwise, if you are interested in knowing how to calculate these numbers, you can go to the separate playlist where I have made detailed videos in all of these major numerology numbers. So the number 5 is being governed by the planet Mercury. It is a number of the adventure, it is a number of the good communication, good arbitrary skills, and if someone who will have his life path number 5, so we can say and we can see that the person tend to remain intelligent, person will tend to remain very curious, and whatsoever the other combination of the numbers will be, but the main important and the most important thing is that the person will remain very much very jovial and very communicative in fulfilling his goals in this lifetime. The next number is of the destiny number. Like I always say, destiny number gets calculated from your complete name. This number just tells about the way you are destined to express yourself in this lifetime. If your life path number is 5, in this case, in the case of this person, which is all about remaining very jovial, remaining very communicative, remaining very intelligent. So now destiny number is just going to infuse this kind of discipline that the person is not going to go haywire in the pursuit of his goals. Destiny number 8, which is a number of the Saturn, is going to make person reach to the position of power, to strive for a position of authority and valuing the money. So valuing the money will tend to remain a central element of the person as well. And the best part is that the life path number is being governed by the planet Mercury and the destiny number is governed by the planet Saturn, both of which are friendly to each other. When it comes to the soul urge number, this number gets calculated from the presence of the total vowels in your name. This number just tells about what your innermost heart's desires are, what your soul craves for. So all of that we get to know from the soul urge number. Just because this number is a master number, the number 11 which this person has, which just tells about that the person will tend to remain very spiritual. The person will also have good intuition, and if the person will work hard, he can also attain the prophetic powers as well. Because when it comes to the soul urge number, the number 11 is a number of spiritual force, and this is something which comes deep inside you. This is what the soul urge number's meaning is. So there we can find good traces of the spirituality as well. The next number is the personality number, which gets calculated from the presence of the total consonants in your name, which just tells about your public image, how you will be perceived in this world. Once you have stepped out of your home, how the world recognizes you. So the number 6, which is a number of the Venus, which is a number of the domestic home grace, which is a number of the faithfulness, loyalty. So this is how the person will be seen, that the person will be seen as a person who will be a very family person, the person who will be very much devoted to the family affairs. So this is how the person will be perceived in this society. Now when it comes to assessing this person's Lagina chart, So as you can see that this person is has got his ascendant as the Aquarius, a sign ruled by the planet Saturn. The second thing is that when I looked at the details, the ascendant is in the Dhanishta nakshatra. Now Dhanishta is a nakshatra governed by the planet Mars. Dhanishta is a nakshatra which is a very good nakshatra from the perspective of the abundance and the fame, because it is being ruled by the 8 Vasus. Now the ascendant lord has gone to the 10th house. Now, though the case is that the 10th house is a house where the Saturn is getting its directional strength. 10th house is a house where the Saturn, see, directional strength I would not say, because that the 7th house is the house where the Saturn gets more directional strength, but in the 10th house it is the Karaka, the natural Karaka of the 10th house, the profession. So it is conjunct with the Mercury, with which it is very much friendly, but it is also very much inimical with the Sun. So there is the presence of the Sun as well, and it has gone to a sign which it is very much inimical towards. So it has gone to the sign of its enemy planet Mars. So we can see in a way that the Lagna is not very strong because of the sign where it is disposited. Apart from that, the second house Mars gives little bit of the harsh kind of speech. If you have to see the presence of the Venus, now Venus is a very placed in a good sign. It's in its own sign. Venus is also the yoga karaka for the Aquarius ascendant people, because it is ruling one angular house, which is the 4th house, and one trine house, which is the 9th house. So presence of the Venus in the 9th house is a good sign. When it comes to the moon, looking at the thinking and the mentality of the person, so there again the moon is conjunct with the Jupiter, which is making a Gaj Kesari yoga, but it has gone in the 8th house. Now 8th house, which is of, again, it's, if in the positive side, this is the house of, inheritance, legacy. This is a house of, prophetic powers, but in its negative signs, this could be the house of the depression, this could be house of the scandals, this could be house of disgrace. But again, in the positive side, this could also mean the enlightenment. So the 8th house is a little bit tricky house, which has got both its positive and the negative side, because 8th house is also the house of the psychic powers as well. And the moon is in the nakshatra of Hasta. Now Hasta is a nakshatra where the people have so much of the obsession towards timetable, making the life kind of a clock. These people tend to remain very skillful as well with anything related to the hand, doing things with the hand. And I have already explained that the person is an engineer, so they the signs can be spotted over there. Now when it comes to looking at the palm of this person, so the very first thing is that, see, like the way I have said, that the Lagna, if your ascendant is weak, this is something which is going to make the person's health vulnerable. And if you'll see the lifeline, the very first thing in this palm, so see guys, first of all, do not get confused. This long line which is encircling, this will not be very appropriately be seen as a lifeline. The lifeline is short. The line which you are getting confused, this line is the fate line. Any line pointing towards the middle finger will be seen as the line of Saturn or the fate line. The lifeline is the short thing which I have just marked in the screen. So this is the line which will be treated and considered as the lifeline. Now which is given this sign that the health could be vulnerable. But again, we have to do a comprehensive analysis. So we will look at it from all other perspectives as well. So when it comes to the shape of the hand, the discussion always has to begin with the overall shape of the hand. So shape of the hand is fire shape. Now what is the eligibility of assigning a fire shape to any hand? So that eligibility is that the shape of the palm needs to be of rectangular or oblong shape, which means that the broadness, the width of the palm and the length of the palm will be disproportionate. They will not be equal, and the fingers will tend to remain short. When I say fingers, how we measure the finger? Fingers get measured on the basis of, you have to compare the length of the middle finger with the broadness of the palm. And here, as you can see, that the broadness of the palm is more as compared to the length of the middle finger. So which is just going to make this hand a fire shape. The fire hand shape is all about the the confidence, enthusiasm and the aggression. And then if you will see the tips of the fingers, so the tips of the fingers are of the spatulate shape. Now spatulate shape or the bulbous shape just tells about the aggression, the energetic side of the of the any shape of the hand, or the way the energies will be manifested. Because like the way I always say, see, if these fingers can be seen as the electric poles representing the manifestation of the energy of this puffed portion of the mounts of our palm. Now what is going to happen is that the more these fingers at their tips tend to remain pointed, this just tells about that the person will tend to remain very intuitive towards the imbibing and assimilating the universal energies. But the more these fingertips will tend to remain broad at their tip, at their end, the more it just make the person give resistance to the universal energy and make the person very energetic, dynamic, and a very young kind of, very far shaped kind of personality. Even the shape, in the color of the overall palm, if you will see, so that is little bit reddish. So the lifeline had made the person vulnerable, but with these additional signs has make and compensated the weakness and the vulnerability of the lifeline. Now when it comes to looking at the condition of the mind, because from the headline we see the signs of the intelligence. So as you can see, first of all, the lifeline is short just under the middle finger, which is again a sign of that the person will tend to remain a little bit vulnerable towards the negativity, and even the signs of the depression cannot be ruled out. The second thing is that if you will see, there is a very prominent island just under the middle finger that will be at the age of the 28 or 29. So now what is going to happen is that this 29 years of age will tend to remain very hard in the life of this person. Why? Because the lifeline is kind of getting end and the culminated or terminated at the same age. Along with, there is a island on the headline, a line which represents a mental intelligence. Island over there is a clear sign of the lack of concentration or the depression, and it is being spotted just under the middle finger, which also tells about the pessimism. So the 28th year of this person will tend to remain, or the 29th year will tend to remain very hard on this person. And as you can fairly see, the moon is also in the 8th house. Now when it comes to looking at that, if this lifeline is short, so is it just going to make the person very vulnerable throughout the life in the form of the health, in the form of the vitality, in the form of the life force? So that is not the case. Why? Because first of all, the fate line is compensating it, and just and on the next side of it, you will find the presence of the Mars line. Like the way I always say, Mars line act as the sister line to the lifeline, which just diminishes all kind of affliction to the lifeline. So if the lifeline is short, it is being protected from the one side with the fate line, and on the another side with the presence of the Mars line. But with these kind of combination, island just on the headline under the middle finger, so the sign of negativity, pessimism, at times these forces cannot be ruled out. But that could be a different thing, that if person is going to make use and give a window in the form of the spirituality and the religious austerity to all of these signs of the pent up energies or the negativity, the person can also do very good in any of the spiritual and any of the religious realm as well. And this person is highly and very deeply religious as well. Now when it comes to the other sign, so the sun line is prominent, which is again giving this hint that the person will retire from a good position. Because when it comes to the good position, at the age of 60, so all of that we see at the culmination, the condition of the fate line along with the condition of the sun line. So there you will find these two lines in an immaculate condition, which is just giving this hint that the person is going to retire from a good position in his lifetime. So this is how we see the analysis. Even if you will see the finger curving, so the little finger is curving out, there is a space between the ring finger and the little finger, which is again giving this hint that the person is outgoing, has got that independent of action, because the gap between these two fingers just tells about the independent of the action. The moon portion is again prominent, which is again giving this hint that yes, the person has got a deep subconscious, the person has got a very fertile subconscious. So this is how we do the analysis. This is how we can see a correlation and a combination between these sciences. If Saturn is prominent, Saturn is infusing discipline in the form of the destiny number. The same thing can also be seen in the presence of the Hasta Nakshatra. If Mars is strong in this Lagina chart, the same thing can be seen in the form of the presence of the Mars line, which in itself indicates the strong vitality and a robust vitality. If, let's say for example, if the moon is afflicted by being in the 8th house, same pessimism and little bit of the traces of the negativity can also be spotted in the form of the short lifeline and the presence of the island in the headline. So this is how we make a sync of all these sciences, and this is how I wanted to do and present this analysis in front of you people. So for further more updates and notification on these kind of videos on the mystic sciences, please subscribe my channel on YouTube and like my Facebook page. Thanks.